My girlfriend casually admitted to cheating on me, and I'm at a loss on what to do. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another story about Reddit cheating. Please click the subscribe button and the notification bell before we begin so you don't miss another cheating story. For the past 8 months, we've been together. I am 23 and met her, F21, on a college bus through a mutual buddy. We'll call her S because it's her favorite letter. We hit it off right away. I called S and we went on our first day a few weeks later when our faculty was forced to close due to an annual unofficial commemoration. That's Mexican University for you all. It was enchanted. We had a lot more chemistry than we had anticipated. We went out for ice cream and spoke all night. When things became serious and personal, we went out for drinks and the actual flirtation began. S resisted for a long time, but we kissed and I drove her near to her house. We realized how far apart we lived at that point, and since none of us owns a car, we had to take at least 3 metro lines to go to the opposite side of town. We later discovered that she worked every weekday after school and I worked on weekends. To make matters worse, despite the fact that we are both studying the same field of study, our coursework and timetables are incompatible. Nonetheless, we wanted this to work out and put forth the required effort to ensure that it did. Her natural habitat is parties. That's when she's the happiest and most trusting, surrounded by drinks and friends. She claimed to be a weed smoker, but I've never seen her. I don't mind that way of life, save for drugs, but I have a lower tolerance for it. In any case, she appears to share my feelings about my lifestyle and interests. She can do and like them, but she finds them exhausting after a time. Our mutual appreciation of affection is something we always have in common. Even if she isn't attractive, I care about her, which makes everything better, given how I am. Intricately opposed we are, things were working out great, but when she asked me to a work party, she said she needed to tell me something. I'll never forget, it was a Friday. She murmured into my ear, "I slept with a guy on Tuesday." I was speechless. I initially mistook that for a confession of guilt, but she didn't appear disturbed in the least. She didn't spare a single detail when I asked for them. What a fool I was. I was hurt by how simple it was for a person she had only met on the bus the day before to go to her office with flowers, then take her to his apartment and spend the night. She acknowledged doing it occasionally with strangers and friends alike as long as she liked them. My stance on lovemaking differs from yours. I can't be content knowing that S sleeps with anyone she wants, whenever she wants. I don't do it with other women since I have a strong bond with my one and only. S was astute because before telling me that, she asked for permission to stay at my house at night in order to finish the party. I live near her workplace. She knew I was a man of my word, so she stayed the night at my apartment, despite the fact that it hurt like hell. We talked after the party, and she was visibly upset by my stance on the issue. She argued that she didn't mind if I slept with any woman I wanted since she knows she's the one I love. This distinction in our personalities could not be hidden like the others. We had the most brutal bed experience we'd ever had that night, full of feelings, guilt, and wrath. We began dating formally after that, despite her initial reluctance. We've always clashed over things, which is unsurprising given our diverse personalities, but it's gotten worse in the last several months. I can't seem to trust her again, and whenever we get close, pictures of other guys stealing S appear in my mind. It's gotten to the point that I can't stand having near her anymore. She changed as well because it appears that she makes some type of sacrifice when we spend time together, and she acquired a practice of humiliating me whenever she can, even if I don't allow it. She's been eluding me lately, claiming she doesn't have time to go out, but her supervisor called me the other day to ask if I was going to a party with S and if I was going to keep an eye on her. Her mother and her supervisor, both of whom genuinely care about her, admired me for being someone who sets boundaries for S, as one of them described it. But I'm at a loss with this. S refuses to even bring up the subject of us. Everything is over, I suppose, and she is just waiting for me to end the relationship, but I don't want to give her the pleasure. What are your thoughts on the matter? Do you have any suggestions for me? I guess I prefer it if our relationship could be healed by a miracle, but I'm prepared for the alternative, more realistic option. First and foremost, I must express my gratitude to each and every one of you. Sometimes all one needs to do is listen to someone else's reason. The relationship with her has come to an end. Not for her, but for myself. I wanted to confront her and finish the relationship face to face as it should be. She agreed, but she failed to show up at the scheduled hour. I didn't want to see her again after that. I passed by her workplace yesterday, as I mentioned. I live nearby, and it's on my usual route. At the entrance, I discovered her boss. We exchanged pleasantries, and she informed me that S was waiting for me inside if I wanted to see her. However, I did not do so. I kept on and just texted S, explaining why I was breaking up with her. Then I deleted her phone number and any other means I could reach her since I knew the temptation would be too much for me to bear. So it's been a day since then. Well, something. Caustic has been lifted from my chest. I sense the distance and miss her voice, her touch. I'm confident it was the best choice. I'll just have to get used to it. I hope she never comes back to my house. I don't want her mother or her boss to contact me because I value both of them. When I was in doubt, I was told to go to Reddit, but I never expected such a response. Thank you all one more time. The second story is as follows. I commented a few times on various forums, but I simply need to talk to someone who isn't engaged in the problem, so this is my only option. My fiance and I have been dating for 6 years. He was everything to me. I sacrificed a lot to make our relationship work, including career prospects and other places because he had a wonderful position in California, and I didn't want to jeopardize it. He was a fantastic individual. He was always there for me even when I was acting insane. He accompanied me to BLM events and assisted me in repaying my school loans. He was the last person you'd expect to cheat. His best friend and he were exceptionally close, and throughout quarantine, rather than suffer from the distance, they grew closer. He always selected her over me, but I took it as a sign that he had friends outside of our circle, which I welcomed. Why should she bother me when the rest of his female pals don't? Then he began having wet dreams about her while pretending he wasn't having them. Then he became obnoxious about who she hung out with and too concerned with everything she did. When I told him I twisted my ankle at work, he just hummed and returned his attention to the television. I've never had any issues with her. She always treated me with respect. She even tried to get him to spend more time assisting me with our wedding plans. She always appeared to be a meek, insecure girl who lacked confidence. She, on the other hand, was playing me. They slept together about a month ago, and no one felt compelled to notify me, including a number of our friends who were obviously all aware. Last week, I returned home to find them in bed. He claims they were intending to tell me when I got home that night, but I know that's not true. Otherwise, why would they have waited a month since it happened the first time? Even if we were married, he believes he would still choose her over me because it was always her. If she gave him a chance, he was always going to choose her. She wasn't this innocent sweetheart. In fact, I believe she was a prostitute. Now that I'm paying closer attention, I see how she plays all these boys she hangs out with in order to garner attention and get what she wants, but she always returns to my now ex-fiance. I'm in pain and can't seem to get over it. I try but fail to cut them out. I can't help but want to watch them in the hopes that she will shatter his heart, but she won't since life isn't like that. Today is his birthday, which is probably why I'm having such a difficult time seeing them together when it should be us. We're meant to be in Mexico at the moment. It was intended to be a surprise for his birthday. Instead, I sold the tickets on Facebook, and now I'm sulk, in my office about how much I miss and despise him at the same time. Thank you for viewing, and be sure to check out our other infidelity stories videos. Please subscribe if you haven't already to get more daily Reddit cheating stories.